Okay, once again, Fair Use Act. I hope they don't mind me using their name, but this again, El Ferrone Tours, and you can book your tour through these people. They seem to do, you know, they very nicely done. Let me show you what they show, because I'm going to use some clips out of this, and I already have in my previous videos. But now I'm going to go into the real solid evidence of why I believe these pyramids were already here, and then they just excavated through some of the biology. Let me leave it at that for now. Now listen to what they have to say, and then I will stop very shortly into this, a minute or two tops. Here goes.
It's one of the 7 wonders of the world. Yet the Great Pyramid of Giza has never yielded all its secrets. No major new structure has been discovered since the Middle Ages. Nobody has ever fathomed how it was built, 4,500 years ago. But in November 2017, the Scan Pyramids team published their findings in Nature magazine. They announced a new major discovery at the very heart of the pyramid. They detected above the Grand Gallery a previously unknown cavity at least 30 meters long. They named it SPBV, Scan Pyramids Big Void.
Okay, that's all we have to do for right now. Again, somebody that was on site that could actually walk right up to these features and home in on them with little, you know, telescoping, you know, smartphones really is all you need. And so we could see what these materials are. And actually, like these little cameras you have, like these right now, you can get these, they plug right into your laptop or into I think, smartphone. Somebody was telling me to get one for a smartphone. Now, I don't really go anywhere. So mine's stuck here, but that's, I got everything I need here. Now, you see these things? What is that all about? What is this all about? What is that all about? What is this all about? Why are these chambers here the way they are? What is this well, they call it? What's this thing here? What are these? There's some structural supports in these pyramids that appear to be trying to keep it from collapsing. These are the things that are dismissed. They're not even really looked at that much. They say they found a new void. That's what this is all about. This is a hidden chamber has been found as big as an airplane, confirmed by a new scan in Egypt. So this is single big void, this big huge void up here. And then there's another one over here. And I believe I know exactly what they are. And I believe I can basically prove it if we had some boots on the ground over there. Now, I am going to show you, I can recreate almost exactly what you see here. And that will be the next video, using my own pyramid. All right? My own pyramid will be used. We put that in the sand, you won't even know the difference. And you see that right over there? That's this right here. You see that? And then it runs down in here. That's blood running down. See that? That's where blood is over here. We're going to look at this in a microscope. We're going to look at all the... I know you can't see that. I'm sure you can't. But there's little layers all through this stuff. And I don't know if this is what was the layers on... Well, right now, I'm going to tell you what. I'm thinking almost... I'm pretty sure right now these are dragon scales, and that's why they run one right after the other down the hill. And I can account for these different features here and where the blood would go, and it would service the scale from a central point. And the central point would not be like the rest of the scale. The rest of the scale is completely different than the center. The center could be exactly like this, rose-colored quartz. And I believe that's exactly what they say is there. Because the center of stones is not like the outside. The outside is what they call feldspar. But you break inside, that's not nothing like feldspar. And all that is biology, because this, I think this was probably it's some kind of biology. I don't know what it is. I have to really look at this. I just grabbed this quick because it had a nice rind around it. But they all have a good rind. I'll show these things in a microscope in the next video. And the same thing with this here. You see the rind around it? The center is nothing like the outside. That's all feldspar. And they say 60% of the earth is feldspar. No, that's not true at all. This is not all feldspar. Inside is completely different rock. Same thing with this. All the feldspar is just the coating of the rock. Same thing with this. Same thing with Augustus. Augustus Caesar. See that? There's his beak or bill or whatever they call it on a goose. There's his feathers. And inside is basalt. His neck and everything. That's what's called nucleophilic transitioning substitution. Invading groups come in, find the chemistry that makes them solid, and that's it. They turn to stone. After all of the waters ran back out, that was it. Now, because of the things that I found on his video, I was able to substantiate the fact that these were built, or at least surfaced, almost directly after the flood. And that's how I think I discovered this, because of a little clip in here that shows the face of the pyramid has the building blocks like they have down in Peru. I'll find that. Hold on a second. Okay, my friends, I have kind of exciting news. I hope it's exciting. We'll find out. Paul Amatucci is writing books. He writes a lot of books. It's not just for me, but he's taken a special interest in my work, and he wrote a couple of books here, unannounced to me, wrote them, but nicely done. We've had contact since, and he's apparently agreed to write more books. And these are very nicely done. I was very impressed. I mean, they're good coffee table books. They got, like, you know, they're big, nice big print and easy to read, and, you know, something that you could put on a coffee table. People could learn about mud fossils. I had one guy say he's going to buy one and give it to his kid to take to school. But what we need to do is get this word out and go around the system. Now, what I'm going to do as well is I'm contacting tour companies, and I have maybe an offer for you. If you live in an area that virtually everywhere has some form of special something that people know about. Now, if you have that type of thing there and you need a little help explaining it, and you want to do tours and maybe even have a little mud fossil museum in that area, I would be willing to consult for no charge or anything, just, you know, just to talk about things, and maybe have, you know, a discussion here and there. But I'm looking right now for pretty much established tour companies. There's one right now, well, I'm not going to say anything about. I'm going to try to contact a bunch of them. But really, ideally, a tour company would be perfect, because they're going around, they can take pictures, they can come up here and I can say, look at that, and I want you to look right in there, and I want you to look at the corner here, and I want you to do this and that, and I want, you know, whatever. Put a little hydrogen peroxide here, you know, that type of thing. We're not going to do any damage. That's all that does is bleed off the oxygen, and it comes back. But anyway, my point being is we need to get this out and open to the public, basically. I don't see any other way to do this. It's never going to be accepted by mainstream. It's so disruptive to their domination. So we're going to take it in our own hands. And tour companies are just absolutely fabulous. They're over there walking around by the... I'm going to show you what this particular tour company does, and I'm going to point to them. I would love to engage with them. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if you know of somebody that wants to, certainly contact me. Because in addition to this, from all of these inputs, we're going to make a documentary film. that starts right from the beginning of the mud fossil discovery. I mean, right from day one, and the interactions, and we'll just go right through it as a documentary, historical documentary, because this is pretty significant, I would think. I thought it was from day one, but boy, I'll tell you, it's been a tough sell. I wasn't even trying to sell. I just said, take a look. And it was an uphill battle. Anyway, let's just remember this. And I don't know, if you have somebody that's interested, and maybe if there's some old abandoned building or something, you want to make a tiny little museum in there, or a place where the kids can come and learn about this stuff, it would be nice for kids. They're the ones that are going to be interested, I would think. But I thought a lot of things, and what I thought wasn't how it turned out. So I'm going to go into showing the pyramid right now, because I have a pyramid right here. And when I show you this, I'm going to put this in sand, and I'm going to show you where the blood goes and everything. It's exactly identical to what the pyramids do. And it's got all the layering in it, but I don't know. Well, we're going to go through it. We're going to go through it. All right, and I have a bunch of other stuff I want to show you. But get these books. Well, do whatever you want. I don't never tell anybody to do anything. But if you want to spread the word, this would be the most helpful thing you can do. This is not for me. I have nothing to do with this. This is all Paul Amatucci. And I don't want to make any money at this. I really don't. I want this to just be understood, the reality that we live in. Because this is not just for today. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like I say, I'm getting up there, and my end is in sight. And I want to know, basically, reality before I try to find the next reality. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being silly. Maybe it's eternally important. It appears it's eternally important, as far as I can determine. All of the texts I have written tell me that you better pay attention, you better seek, and you better find, and when you find, you will be disturbed, and you will marvel. And boy, if you're not marveling now and disturbed now, I don't know how you're ever going to ever be marveled or disturbed. Because this is a complete, total upending of what we've been told about our history, about mythology, about, in the university system, religion is just a joke. Well, like I say, geology, Mars and everything, it's all biology. And even the physics isn't right. So I'm going to hope that Paul will write books about the physics. He's more or less agreed. Paul, you agreed. You said you did. We'll do it, buddy. He said he would fix up my book. I put out a book 6-7 years ago about Velikovsky and how he was mistreated by academia, and my mud fossils were getting the same treatment. So he is going to update that. I'm going to put a few changes in there because I've learned things since then. And this is what we need to do. You learn. You don't just stop. Nothing stops. I have no explanation for how these things lived, how they could have eaten. These things are literally, some of them are over 1,000 miles long. Right? I know. But if you've been following me, you know that's true. So I have no explanations for those things. This is where you learn, and some people have told me, oh, this happened, or this came from space, or what. I don't know. I don't laugh anymore at anything. I listen carefully, and I observe. And again, I am a material scientist. I need to see something make sense. And I was never religious because it did not make sense. Now it makes sense. And the only thing I can think of that makes sense to me right at this moment is that Jesus Christ was as advertised. He came here to say, this is not what you think. It's totally different than you thought. The earth is a corpse and a body, and you better pay attention and do what I tell you, or you are in trouble. And for that, he paid that ultimate price. No, this is not like, oh, he just sacrificed his flesh for mine. No, I don't think so. I think it came down, he said, look, no matter what they do to you, if you start violence, if you start hatred, if you start killing and vendettas and domination, and you lose compassion and all of those things that make really what humanity, I think, was supposed to be constructed to be. Because there's some people that are so compassionate, so wonderful. It's just amazing. But trust me, I'm not one of them. I got so much to be forgiven for, I got to tell you. But I think once you come to that realization that, you know, this is not a game. This, I believe, is basically school. This is, as far as I'm concerned, I've been in school, and I've been trying to learn how to get out of this realm. Now, my life has been pretty damn good. I got to be honest with you. I can not complain a bit. I got very, 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 very fortunate. I don't know how many varies I can throw in there, but trust me, I need a lot of them, because I could have gone a whole lot of bad ways. Let's leave it at that. Now, it's time we take back our reality. All right, I was going to do something different, but I'm just going to make it this. That, you know, if anybody knows any tour companies that want to get interested, and they're out somewhere out in Wyoming or whatever, because there was one, a river tour company, that was going down to Colorado. As a matter of fact, I got to contact them. See, this is all coming back to me. This is all congealing now. There's nothing solid here. This is nothing solid here whatsoever. I need different people to go out and collect. Like, I would love to have somebody go out there and look at these things, and look right up close. Tyson's doing that sort of stuff right now. He's collecting really solid geographical, you know, specimens, and, you know, going right up to them and taking the pictures right up, you know, in situ, just like they did at what they're going to show at the pyramids. Now, this is the company I'm talking about at the pyramids. Now, I'm going to contact them. Maybe they'll do something, maybe they won't. But it's Il Ferron Tours, and they appear to be in Egypt. Now, let's just take a look at what they say, because I'm just going to show you what they say quickly, because I was impressed with the way they did it, and I would love to partner up with them. It's up to them. Now, this is the one that I saw. It wasn't from the tour company. It was from this other guy here. I'll have to get you the name of it, but it shows the same blocks as in South America here. This is what we're going to go through in the next video. We're going to get really deep, showing what is these places. They look like they're going to cave in, and why did they have these chevrons here and there built right into them, and what are these cavities they're finding all of a sudden. I think I can explain virtually all of that, and I pretty much did in this video here, which was the Egyptologists say this is the biggest discovery of the 21st century at the pyramids. All they're talking about is a cavity they discovered inside. I'm talking about the building construction, what it was originally constructed of. Was it biology? Can I prove it was biology? What are these blocks made of? What is fascia? What is these tissues, if they are different tissues, or maybe not. Maybe somebody did build them. I don't know. Let's find out. But I can tell you what, this is identical, same construction techniques as they used down in South America, which I show in this video. If you want to watch this one, it's like almost 2 hours long. This was a monster for me. But it shows everything. I'm not guessing a single bit about what I'm showing. All right, those things are the exact same things you find on the walls down in South America. And I know what they were made out of. Same bumps are on those things I just showed you right there. So anyway, it's a whole nother video going to be about that. And that's what we're going to see. far as I'm concerned, I've proved this dozens of times. People are getting upset because I keep going over and over. When this is known as a household thing, as, oh, yeah, which is starting to be, the people that know about it, they're, oh, of course, everybody knows that. Well, that's what I want to be, everybody does know that. Not just everybody you know knows it, because that's the problem. Every society's so segmented now, you can't talk about something. People laugh at you when you say this kind of stuff. It's shocking, it's stunning, it's jarring, but it is truth. Now, you want to live in truth, or you want to just walk around in circles and say, oh, well, I don't do that. I can't help it. It's just, it's not in me. I want truth. So, stick with me, because the next one, it's just going to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. Because now we're going to start getting into what is the meaning of this stuff. We know now there was giant creatures here. There was a flood. Even the people from Yale agree with the fact that there was a serious flood that caused all of these soft-bodied creatures to be preserved on one layer all around the entire world. Heavy precipitation. Well, what's that? That's water. And heavy salt waters with silicate mineral, basically glue, is the nucleophilic substitution. It invades and it glues things together, and then they become solid. And that was the preservation technique. Now, that was a paper written in 2016 by somebody at Yale, with Derek Briggs. He was on the paper. All right, so if that's not true, I want him to say, no, Roger, you're not right. Well, I am right. And I presented my stuff to him long before that, and it was rejected. And that's why you don't hear anything about this. I got the paper here somewhere. Anyway, it's very disruptive to their authority. Here it is right here. Exceptionally preserved. Exceptional preservation of soft-bodied Ediacara biota promoted by silica-rich oceans. You say, ooh, what does that mean? Well, I can tell you what it means. If you look up biota, it just means plants and animals. Biology, biota, living biology. Well, what does Ediacara mean? That's just a layer they added to the earth, because it's just one layer worldwide. So here, let me explain to you in a layman's terms. Extremely good preservation of creatures' bodies in one layer, all different plants and animals, and it was promoted by silica-rich salt waters. Basically, that's it. Oceans that covered the entire earth. Now, why would I say the entire earth? I didn't say the entire earth. They did. Where did they say it? Right here. It was in this one layer, they call it the Ediacara strata. Well, good. It's one layer worldwide. One layer worldwide. All kinds of fossils. Complex, multicellular organisms. It just means all life forms. It occurs in this one layer, right on the edge layer of this layer, all around the world. They don't know how this happened. And they don't know how this would have happened. It's all controversial. Well, no, it isn't if you speak about it, but they won't speak to me about it. But they wrote the paper, him and all these other people, taking credit for it in 2016. 2016. Now, I presented this to Yale 2012 or so. Anyway, that's water over the dam, but who knows, it may come back to haunt a lot of people. Anyway, this is exactly what it says. Many of the fossils are, whatever that word is, anatomically preserved as casts and molds in sandstone. They're mud fossils. They were a lot. The best ones are completely encased in mud, and then the mud washes off, and then they're just perfect. But that's not sandstone. Totally different. Many of the fossils, blah 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 blah. They call it endocardia style preservation. No, it's mud fossils. This is see now he's trying to make a new name for it. Here we present evidence. I presented the evidence from the Ediacardia member of the South Australian Ediacardia style preservation was due to rapid, which is the giant flood, early stage precipitation. That's water. Early stage. I don't know what that means. Of silica cements. It's nothing more than all the goop that's in the body. And that's now what they're using right now to make geopolymers, the same stuff. Every one of these that's coated with fascia is aluminum silicates. And that's what they use is aluminum silicates mixed with stuff right out of the ground to turn it back into stone. And it's much more friendly than cement. So anyway, I'm just going to hold off for this for a second, but we're going to go through this top to bottom. So stick with me. It's coming. You know, it wasn't from that tour company. I think I just found it on a Google search. I'm going to have to find it again. But these are the cavities that they built these, and I believe these were built with geopolymers. They were still wet and put them up in here in position. I don't know exactly how they did it, but they made these angles, which weight will force them together and there's no way it can collapse. But they had to buttress them up underneath as well. So they used them here. Now the other ones that I'm going to show you that you can see from the outside, the chevron or whatever they call it, is also, I believe, geopolymer. It's 100% different than the other rocks are there. What we need to do is have a very close examination of these different stones, and I can tell what they're made of, if they're natural or they're not. And I can show you the unnatural stones, which were ground up, which I have actually here myself, that were geopolymers made when these were made. They were grinding up creatures and body parts and everything and extracting the metals from it. And let me show you why I can say that. But this is what we're going to focus on very shortly in the next video. As a matter of fact, I will show you those body parts ground up in the next video.